All right, welcome to our Corvette Z06 test drive, 2002. This is my third driving video today. Quite a range of cars, from a 1982 Mercedes 280E W123 sedan to a 68 E-Type, and now we're in some modern, fairly modern, American muscle. This car has trying not to get into any trouble. A little bit of a hill getting out of the shop there. This car's got about 30,000 miles on it. A little over 30,400 and change. Everything very well. Not sure what else to tell you other than that it's been a really well cared for car. The gentleman who owns this also has a newer, I don't know, I think maybe a C5 Z06. He's got a couple of other really high horsepower cars. Back in 2002, this was a lot of horsepower, but today it's you know, not all that much in the grand scheme of things. Right there, right now. It isn't what I normally drive or work with, but I have really enjoyed driving this car, just because it's so raw, but it's comfortable. You know, it's a modern car. It's pretty fast. It's pretty easy to drive. Well behaved at low speeds, but a lot of fun to really romp on. And it just gobbles up these roads effortlessly. I ran the Carfax on this car and it shows an odometer discrepancy. The owner of this car used to take this car to a place called AJ's Foreign Auto, despite the fact that it's a domestic car. He used to take a lot of his other cars. He's got 15 or 20, probably 25 cars. And he used to take them to a place in Ithaca called AJ's Foreign Auto that was closed a few years ago. The guy was retiring, couldn't find anybody to sell the shop to. So that shop is no longer, and it was bulldozed for some Section 8 housing, which is now a crime-ridden apartment building, unfortunately. But all of that aside, it does show, it shows it was 29,000 miles one month, and then it had 100 and something thousand the next month. There are actually two entries from AJ's showing 100 and something thousand, and you couldn't physically drive this car 100,000 miles in the 6 weeks between those entries. So we're trying to fix it with Carfax. I'm not holding my breath because I think Carfax is a racket, and even when it's something as obvious as this, given the fact that the gentleman who has this car has owned it for quite a while, I'm just going to keep going. Thank you. So if that's an issue for you, you can get over it or find another car, because there's no question that this thing has 30,000 and change. Kind of feels like like going through the bus stop at Watkins Glen right there. Makes a lot of noise, but I'm only doing 55. There I'm going a little bit more, but it's just a really nice, smooth, fun car to drive and listen to. Have a lot of fun in this one. I was down in 4th gear. There's 5th gear. So if we take it to 6th, is that 6th? No, that's 6th. There you go. We're doing 1,600 RPMs at 65 miles an hour. Maybe 1,700 at 65 miles an hour. I've got a heads-up display, so I guess I can look at that. I don't usually drive stuff with a heads-up display. Don't forget to give the Corvette wave to anybody else you see. That's just, you don't take your hand off the wheel, you just raise your 4 fingers. That's the Corvette wave. Yeah, I'd love to just scream up there, but just like the rest of the world, no matter what you're driving. But boy, it sounds good. My consignment customer does a lot of Watkins Glen track days in his various cars, although he has never tracked this one. The only time this was on Watkins Glen was when, or any track, was when Corvette was the featured mark at the Grand Prix Festival, and he was part of the tour and went out and did a couple laps, you know, behind a pace car at lunchtime. So it's never really been tracked in any meaningful way. Back down the highway to the shop. Get there up to 5th gear. Boy, it's just a tight, really fun car. Really surprised me. I didn't think I was going to enjoy driving this one as much as I do. And the manual transmission's all the difference. The clutch is smooth and easy. It's just a really easy car to drive. To be in the SCCA really active 20 years ago. These Z06s were 2003, 4, 5. Absolutely dominated the touring one, the T1 class in SCCA racing. You know what? We're going to go through the roundabout because they were relatively cheap, and the T1 touring class was you couldn't do too much to the cars. You could do a few things, brakes and exhaust and whatnot, but generally they were relatively stock, and these cars came from the factory out of the box with a lot of horsepower and a lot of performance upgrades in terms of handling and everything. So I'm not sure why I really did this, but it's a really fun car to drive is all I'm trying to say. What are we doing here, guy? What are we doing? So, that's the 2002 Corvette Z06.